again, it looks like our live stream is up and running as it should be, so that's really awesome. I hope you've all had a fantastic Easter as well and have not eaten too much chocolate. I hope that the Easter Bunny was able to get out of lockdown and be an essential service and come and visit you. Awesome. All right, we're going to be reading Boo by Colin McNaughton. It's another Preston Pig story, and then we're going to continue on with reading more of fantastic Mr. Fox. And we're up to Bogger's Chicken House at number 1. All right. Now, if you haven't also checked out Mr. D doing a really poor attempt at trying to do a rap, I've put a link in the chat, and or you can, if you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can check out that there. I think I might have a go at doing another one as well. Not my finest moment, but hey, that's all good. All right, here we go. Boo by Colin McNaughton. Through the dark, dark streets of the dark, dark town, Preston. Boo! Says Preston the Masked Avenger, and he disappears into the night. Slinking through the shadows, Preston the Masked Avenger spies Billy the Bully, his next victim. Boo! Says Preston the Masked Avenger, and he disappears into the night. Cat-like, Preston the Masked Avenger slides through the darkness until he reaches the schoolhouse where his teacher is working late. Boo! Says Preston the Masked Avenger, and he disappears into the night. Next, the superhero comes to Mr. Wolf's house. Boo! Says Preston the Masked Avenger very quietly, and he sneaks right past. I may be a superhero, says Preston, but I'm not daft, and he disappears dead. Boo! Says Preston the Masked Avenger, and he disappears into the night. At least he would have done it if his dad hadn't grabbed him first. Preston, said Preston's dad, I've had complaints about you from all over town. You're a naughty little pig. Preston, the unmasked Avenger, is sent to his room. Not fair. Suddenly, boo, says Preston's dad. That'll teach you to go around scaring people. Boo! No, it doesn't. And Dad's not looking too happy. Well, he's actually got a smile on his face while he's chasing Preston down the street. Awesome. All right, we're going to continue on with fantastic Mr. Fox. Boggis's Chicken House, number 1. This time, we must go in a very special direction, said Mr. Fox, pointing sideways and downward. So he and his 4 children started to dig once again. The work went much more slowly now, yet they kept it up with great courage, and little by little the tunnel began to grow. Dad, I wish you would tell us where we're going, said one of his children. I dare not do that, said Mr. Fox, because this place I'm hoping to get to is so marvelous that if I described it to you that you would go crazy with excitement. And then if we failed to get there, which is very possible, you would die of disappointment. I don't want to raise your hopes too much, my darlings. For a long, long time, they kept on digging. For how long, they did not know, because there was no light, no days and no nights down there in the murky tunnel. But at last, Mr. Fox gave the order to stop. I think, he said, we'd better take a peep upstairs now and see where we are. I know where I want to be, but I can't possibly be sure we're anywhere near it. Slowly, wearily, the foxes began to slope the tunnel up towards the surface. Up and up it went, until suddenly they came to something hard above their heads, and they couldn't go up any further. Mr. Fox reached up to examine the hard thing. It's wood, he whispered. Wooden Fox, be very quiet now while I take a peek. Carefully, Mr. Fox began pushing up one of the floorboards. The board creaked most terribly, and they all ducked down, waiting for something awful to happen. but nothing did. So Mr. Fox pushed up a second board, and then very, very cautiously, he poked his head up through the gap. He let out a shriek of excitement. "I've done it!" he yelled. "I've done it! First time! I've done it! I've done it!" He pulled himself up through the gap in the floor and started prancing. Started prancing and dancing with joy. "Come on up," he sang. "Come on up and see where we are, my darlings. What a sight for a hungry fox. Hallelujah! Hooray! Hooray!" The four small foxes scrambled up out of the tunnel, and what a fantastic sight it was before their eyes. They were in a huge shed, and the whole place was teeming with chickens. There were white chickens, brown chickens, black chickens by the thousand. "Boggus's chicken house number 1, cried Mr. Fox. "It's exactly what I was aiming at. I hit it slap in the middle. First time, isn't that fantastic? And if I may say so, rather clever." The small foxes went wild with excitement. They started running around in all directions, chasing the stupid chickens. "Wait," ordered Mr. Fox. "Don't lose your heads. Stand back. Calm down. Let's do this properly. First of all, everyone have a drink of water." They all ran back to the tunnel, he ordered. "Come on. No fooling around. The quicker you move, the quicker you shall have something to eat." One after another, they climbed down through the hole in the floor, and soon they were all standing once again in the dark tunnel. Mr. Fox reached up and pulled the floorboard back. "And small children, run back with these to your mother. Tell her to prepare a feast. Tell her that the rest of us will be along in a jiffy as soon as we've made a few other little arrangements." Chapter 11. A surprise for Mr. Fox. The small fox ran back along the tunnel as fast as he could, carrying the 3 plump hens. He was exploding with joy. "Just wait," he kept thinking. "Just wait till Mummy sees these." He had a long way to run, but he never stopped once on the way, and he came bursting in upon Mrs. Fox. "Mummy!" he cried out of breath. "Look, Mummy, look! Wake up and see what I brought you." Mrs. Fox, who was weaker than ever now from lack of food, opened one eye and looked at the hens. "I'm dreaming," she murmured, and closed the eye again. "You're not dreaming, Mummy. They're real chickens. We're saved. We're not going to starve." Mrs. Fox opened both eyes and sat up quickly. "But my dear child, where on earth—" "Boggus's chicken house number 1, sputtered the small fox. "We tunneled right up under the floor. You've never seen so many big fat hens in all your life. And Dad said to prepare a feast. They'll be back soon." The sight of the food gave her new strength. "A feast it shall be," she said. "Stand up," she said, standing up. "Oh, what a fantastic fox your father is. Hurry up, child, and start plucking those chickens." Far away down in the tunnel, the fantastic Mr. Fox was saying, "Now for the next bit, my darlings. This one will be easy as pie. All we have to do is dig another little tunnel from here to there." "To where, Dad?" "Don't ask so many questions. Start digging." Chapter 12. Badger. Mr. Fox and the 3 remaining small foxes dug fast and straight. They were all too excited now to feel tired and hungry. They knew they were going to have a whacking great feast before long, and the fact that it was none other than Boggus's chickens that they were going to eat made them churgle in laughter every time they thought of it. It was lovely to realize that while the fat farmer was sitting up there on the hill waiting for them to starve, he was also giving them dinner without knowing it. "Keep digging," said Mr. Fox. "It's not much further." All of a sudden, a deep voice above their heads said, "Who goes there?" The foxes jumped. They looked up quickly and they saw, peeking through a small hole in the roof of the tunnel, a long 3 days and nights. "Haven't the foggiest idea where I am." Badger made the hole in the ceiling bigger and dropped down beside the foxes. A small badger, his son, dropped down after him. "Haven't you heard what's happening up on the hill?" Badger said excitedly. "It's chaos. Half the wood has disappeared and there are men with guns all over the countryside. None of us can get out, even at night. We're all starving to death." "Who's we?" said Mr. Fox. "All us diggers, that's me and..." "What are we going to do, Foxy? I think we're finished." Mr. Fox looked at his 3 children and he smiled. The children smiled back at him, sharing his secret. "My dear old Badger," he said, "this mess you're in is all my fault." "I know it's your fault," said Badger furiously, "and the farmers are not going to give up until they've got you. Unfortunately, that means us as well. It means everyone on the hill." Badger sat down and put a paw around his small son. "We're done for," he said softly. "My poor wife up there is so weak, she can't dig another yard." Nor can mine, said Mr. Fox, and yet at this very minute she is preparing for me and my children the most delicious feast of plump, juicy chickens. Stop, cried Badger. Don't tease me. I can't stand it. It's true, cried the small foxes. Dad's not teasing. We've got chickens galore. And because everything is entirely my fault, said Mr. Fox, I invite you to share the feast. I invite everyone to share it. You and Mole and Rabbit and Weasel and all your wives and children. There'll be plenty to go round, I can assure you. You mean it? Cried Badger. You really mean it? Mr. Fox pushed his face close to Badger and whispered darkly, do you know where we've just been? Where? Right inside Boggis's chicken house number 1. No. Yes, but that is nothing to where we're going now. You have come just at the right moment, my dear Badger. You can help us dig. And in the meanwhile, your small son can run back to Mrs. Badger and all the others and spread the good news. Mr. Fox turned to the small Badger and said, tell them they are invited to a fox's feast. Then bring them all down here and follow this tunnel back until you find my home. Yes, Mr. Fox, said the small Badger. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I thank you, sir. And he scrambled quickly back through the hole in the roof of the tunnel and disappeared. Chapter 13 is Bunce's giant storehouse. Well, we're going to stop there. And we'll carry on tomorrow. We'll have another Preston Pig story written by Colin McNaughton. But hope you're looking after yourselves. It is funny to think that the term is actually officially starting on Wednesday. But don't worry, your teachers have got it all under control. And we'll look forward to seeing what you can be doing on as you're working from home. All right, we'll catch you all tomorrow. Ka kite anō.